One thing I've always had a deep connection for is entrepreneurs and community. There's something about that mindset. There's something about that gray area, that bubble for growth, where they kind of let you try things to experience, to grow, and if it doesn't work, we can try something else and pivot.
Our goal has always been to empower entrepreneurs with the financial knowledge and the confidence they need to be really successful in their lives, because entrepreneurs are making, and this is my somewhat opinion, but I believe this is factual, that entrepreneurs are the strongest community making positive advancements in the world.
We actually create a weekly space to get those things off your checklist and hold you accountable. We talk about your goals. We check in where you're at. Where are you struggling? What needs clarity? And it sounds so cheesy, but it's legit. It's a safe place for entrepreneurs to go to have real talks about hard things, about easy things, about things that never get celebrated, but would be really nice to hear somebody cheer you on. That's the space for this, because it's not easy being an entrepreneur.
With zero cost, the only thing that we ask in exchange is that you commit to it and show up for yourself and for others. This is an opportunity to align yourself with people who are sharing the same experience, the same journey in a different way, but to learn from each other, to push each other forward, to celebrate each other. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to The Wealthy Entrepreneur. I am your host, Bob Gauvreau. I have a special guest with me today, Tiffany, from the Wealthy Entrepreneur Program. And what we want to chat with you about today is a little bit about, one, business coaching and advice, right? The importance of that, but specifically tying into that, how we can help with business coaching and advice, and share a little bit about the experience we have, the program that we actually offer, and why it is that we think you should be part of it, to be honest, right? So, Tiff, maybe before we get into this, I think a lot of people have heard from me as part of this journey, but maybe just give a little bit of your backstory and why you're here with us today.
Sure. It is nice to be here. I love the Gauvreau crew. Honestly, it's like, Gauvreau here is like 360 degrees of entrepreneurial support, right? So my journey is a little wild. I've always had a heart for entrepreneurs. I've always worked for entrepreneurs. I've always been in their environment. My mother was an entrepreneur. I have a bit of that entrepreneurial spirit. Of course, you know, I have my own show on Coachico, the Tiffany Show, and kind of a few other little side things that you fuel me on with. But one thing I've always had a deep connection for is entrepreneurs and community. There's something about that mindset. There's something about that gray area, that bubble for growth, where they kind of let you try things to experience, to grow, and if it doesn't work, we can try something else and pivot. So I've just always been in that environment. So when you asked me to go for a coffee and had a chitty chat about community management.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Did he sign up?
Oh boy.
And it was like a
if
no-brainer.
I could go back.
You'd hire 10 of me. But yeah, it was like that conversation sitting down. And of course, I knew about coaching programs. I knew about Gauvreau because 10, 15 years ago, I worked for one of the top 50 spas of Canada. Of course, Gauvreau did our bookkeeping at that point. So I knew a few of the staff. I've watched you grow and move within the community as well. So when we sat down to have that conversation, it was like a no-brainer. I knew what you were about. I knew what your mission was. I knew that your heart was in the right place. I also knew that there was opportunity for me to growth and like really flex my skills, the emotional intelligence, the social intelligence that brings people together and makes them feel special and connected and part of something real. So when we sat down and had that conversation, it really was like a no-brainer. I wanted to be here and I wanted to work even deeper with entrepreneurs. And kind of previous to that, I managed the spa, and then I was at business development and public relations at the Chamber of Commerce. So I had kind of those things in my pocket. And then, yeah, you were like, this opportunity has come up and I just think it would just fit with what you're passionate about. And so that landed me here. And honestly, it's been such a great experience to be with these business owners and CEOs in a different capacity and support them in a different way where they can be real and honest about the things that are happening in business and actually have somebody that's 110% into supporting you, cheering you on, getting you through the must be nices that we like to talk about.
Yeah. The new t-shirt offering, which we'll talk about maybe a little bit later or on a different episode, different time. But anyway, Yes, entrepreneurs, it must be nice. That's the tagline that we always hear in our life because no one really understands what it is that we go through, which is a nice segue into why we actually started this. But before I get into that, how long has it been that you've been part of this team?
3 years.
Is it 3 years?
Yeah, 2022 November.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gone by like that.
Yeah, it does seem like yesterday. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the program. So the Wealthy Entrepreneur Program, it actually, I'm going to sneak by here. It actually was founded really in concept by this. So this is the Wealthy Entrepreneur book. We will make sure that there's a link to download the book for free here as well today. This was something that I wrote. And the reason I wrote it was that I think this was back, actually, let's even look at the year. This was 2020 when this was actually released. So I think it was January 2020 though, so pre-COVID.
Oh my, yes.
We were just talking about when we actually started the program, but pre-COVID 2020 released in January. This book was created because our team, I think at the time we were 15 people, and there was a demand for what it was that we were doing. And I knew that we could never help everybody by actually doing accounting tax services. And truthfully, not everybody can afford to work with us either, who are getting started and whatnot as well. So what we wanted to do was create a foundational component that was free for everybody, right? Free to download it. If you want a copy of this, you can buy it on Amazon. It's not free on Amazon, but it's not expensive. The idea of this was to put this knowledge and experience of, at that point would have been from 2008 to 2020, so 12 years of me growing my business and sharing some of the pain points, the foundations, the structures, cash flow, how to build a team, how to start investing, how to, build a culture, how to build strategy, all the things that I invested 12 years of my life into, just sharing it in here for free. So the Wealthy Entrepreneur started with this, right? And there's been hundreds of thousands of downloads of this, which is amazing because that was the intent, to get it into hundreds of thousands, if not millions, hundreds of millions over the years into people's hands so that we can help them, right? So the idea was to just give that, and it was a gift. There was nothing asked for in return. And when we launched this book, again in 2020, then all of a sudden we had COVID, right? So COVID happened March 2020. And I remember at that point, we as an organization, as the Gauvreau team, we were very much digitized and could take online meetings and everything, but the world wasn't necessarily ready for that, but we were. And I remember in March when this happened, everybody got locked down. I remember being at home on the first day of the lockdown. I think it was noon by the time I actually got in here, and I had no plan on coming in here, and this is the weird thing about us as entrepreneurs, right? My dog came in. I love my dog. My dog came in and was like all trying to be cuddly. And I was like, oh, this is nice. My wife made me lunch at my home office. My kids were home. I could hear them. They would come in and say, hi, Dad, how are you? And then by noon, I was like, I have got nothing done. I've got to get out of this damn house and I've got to get to work because people need me. And truthfully, that was the catapult, because I don't think I slept for a week when this happened, right? When COVID happened. Like everybody else, there was a lot of stress, but my stress was I've got thousands of clients here who need our help and our support right now because they're panicking and they don't know what to do. And specifically finance related. So we really started building up a free Facebook group at that time. And we started going live every day. I went live every day. I'm doing it now. I'm on podcasts. I do all the stuff that I'm supposed to do, but I'm not a go live kind of guy. I'm more of a let's get something right and then create it and produce it at high quality. Going live was a tough thing for me to do. But we did it every day because people needed us. And not only did they need us to share, they just needed that community to know that we were in it together. And sort of as we got through COVID together, realized that sense of community was so important, right? Entrepreneurs who were really going through the same challenges, saw the same opportunities. Wouldn't it be nice, like our employees say to us, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to your kid's event at Friday at 3:00? Wouldn't it be nice to have a cottage or a new car? But wouldn't it be nice to work for 100 hours this week, to not sleep because you're trying to make sure your payroll is made, that you've got clients that are upset, you've got employees who are on stress leave or whatever, all of those challenges that we as entrepreneurs face that people just don't understand, right? And I know there's the imagery that's out there of the iceberg, right? Where you see the small component of the iceberg that sticks out and you're like, wow, that's big and beautiful. And then you look underneath at how massive the structure is and all the things that are happening underneath to make that iceberg continue to float. And it's, those things that people don't see that we need to talk about as a community. So ultimately at that point, I was like, well, you know what we need to do now is we need to create a program that's founded on the principles in this, but not just for people to read. Let's help them implement these tools and bring these to real life in a fast way, right? Because our goal has always been to empower entrepreneurs with the financial knowledge and the confidence they need to be really successful in their lives. Because entrepreneurs are making, and this is my somewhat opinion, but I believe this is factual, that entrepreneurs are the strongest community making positive advancements in the world. And so when we can help support entrepreneurs be financially successful, then we are moving the world together in a positive way. So that's always been sort of our intention, but to also create a community where that can be celebrated, where wins can be celebrated, where challenges and fears can be celebrated. Having a conversation with a client today who's, getting through all of these things. He's created a business that sort of runs without him. And now he's got this self-identity challenge where he's going, I don't know where I fit. I'm maybe a bit of an imposter because I'm going in and doing these things that, was I ever qualified to do them? But he's worked so hard to get here. And now he's struggling, emotionally about who he is and what his role is. And that's the evolution of the entrepreneurial journey. And, until I brought it up with him and started asking questions, he got emotional because he was like, who's he going to talk to about these things? Because nobody gets it. Again, how it must be nice that you don't have to go and do all of the jobs that you used to have to do. And he's absolutely struggling with his identity crisis because he's created a sustainable business that operates without him. But now it's like, who is he as a person? So anyway, all of those things and all of those conversations and that community where we can celebrate it. Like I congratulated him for getting to that point. And I also said, I'm here for you in the moment where you need to talk these things through and know that you're not alone. Like this is something that happens. So that's one example, guys, but we really created the Wealthy Entrepreneur community to deal with all of those. One, let's give you the tools, the framework so that you can start winning fast. You can start growing, scaling, building a team, understanding your finances, starting to build your wealth. But let's do so together as a community. Let's bring in the people, the resources that we need. Tiff is in there as the community manager to help make sure everybody gets connected in the way that they need to. We've got Michaela who's in here, who's helping people from the mindset standpoint. So for sure, the client I was chatting with the other day needs to have a meeting with Michaela to talk through some of those things. But like this, we've built this team and this community and these trainings to essentially help foster that entrepreneurial journey and help you be successful while feeling part of something that's bigger than you. And so that's really why it started, right? And where it started. And we kicked it off actually at a live event.
I was there.
Yeah. So we kicked it off on the live event, and I think we had, 300 people that were there, and we hadn't actually built out the program yet, just the idea of it. And I think we had 70 people off of that event decide to join. And that was really the kick in the butt to say, oh man, there's a need for this. We really need to build this out. And so we did. So that's sort of where and why. Tiff, do you want to maybe walk us through what it is that actually happens in the program and what people actually get part of? And then I'm going to share with everybody who can actually join this thing. And, you might be excited about what the answer is. So maybe share what's involved. How does this program actually work?
So we base the program, it's got 4 different pillars that we work towards. Of course, financial clarity is like number one, understanding the information that we're seeing so we can make decisions for our business that serve our business and ourselves. And then, it's so much deeper than that. It's like we touch on these other pain points in business. Just like you said, it's like you're helping all of these clients through the pandemic. You're hearing so many similarities and pain points through the years, and that's where the opportunity to support them on a deeper level outside of this, because of course the financials are number one, super important. If those aren't in order, we're going down. But there's these other points of business that if we touch and tighten and tweak and look at and adjust and work towards and set goals for, we can really, really achieve the next level, the next scale. So within the program, yes, we've got this course. The one course that always comes first is your Profit Simple course. You work through it on your own. It unlocks the modules as you go. It's got the test results and all of that stuff that you would expect in a course. And then it's this whole element of human support on the other side. So me as your community manager, I've got your back 110%. It's like any of these questions that entrepreneurs have, we have the answers to. Gauvreau Accounting Tax Law Advisory. I have 200 coworkers that I can turn to for answers for our entrepreneurs. And honestly, it's even deeper than that. We have an AI robot called AI Bob. We have fed it all of Bob's workshops and podcast episodes and information. You can actually call AI Bob and have a chitty chat if you wanted to. But you can ask anything and it will give you the information direct from Bob, and it's accurate and it's helpful, and it's another place that you can turn to get an answer. And then we've got like your monthly CEO call with Bob. We've got your monthly mindset check-ins, your accountability calls. We even have these group working sessions because a lot of the time you get humming along in business and you can get really siloed in the work that you're doing and like forget about some important things that you keep putting on the back burner. And we actually create a weekly space to get those things off your checklist and hold you accountable. We talk about your goals. We check in where you're at. Where are you struggling? What needs clarity? And number one, it's like this, and it sounds so cheesy, but it's legit. It's a safe place for entrepreneurs to go to have real talks about hard things, about easy things, about things that never get celebrated, but would be really nice to hear somebody cheer you on. That's the space for this, because it's not easy being an entrepreneur. I've worked in the weeds with so many entrepreneurs through my career. I've heard the similar pain points, the similar challenges. And like this space and the breakthroughs that happen in this space is unreal. Like one of our members went through the Profit Simple course. She found $13,000 because she went through the course and did the advice that Bob told her to. Yeah. And like the mindset, like some of the employee HR issues that some of our entrepreneurs have, they have breakthroughs on these calls because sometimes you need to be with like-minded people. And when you're working in your business and not on it, you sometimes lose sight of that. And the Wealthy Entrepreneur is that space to get that work done, to set the goals. Like, we want you to win. So what do we need to do to support you to get there?
Yeah, 100%. And even just to add on to that too, like what is in here is really, and I know we talked about having, 10 employees or whatever it was in 2020 when this book was done, but like the evolution of our business that's happened, since COVID, we're now just shy of 200 people. We're across North America. We've got multiple offices. We work with over 4,000 entrepreneurs. So like the resources that come in here are based on the experiences of those 4,000 entrepreneurs, right? That we work with, we hear from, we help support, with their accounting, their tax, even their business advice side. But then inside this community, it's where we share some of those learnings. But it's them, but it's also us, right? Like we've created a $23 million a year business right now with building a very scaled team and building these resources in our team, understanding the recruitment side, the culture side, the financial side, the strategy side, all the elements that come into building a successful business. We're sharing how we've done it. And we do that every single month, right? And it's through these calls, it's through these conversations, and it's really exciting, like one thing is exciting that we get to actually do this and create this business where we help people. But the other part is that we get to share how you can do it too, based on what we've learned, what we've failed on, what we've succeeded on. And it's pretty cool. And we bring a lot of our very successful friends in to share and support as well. So we have a lot of guest speakers that come in. If you've listened to the podcast, you've likely heard a few of the people that have been on the podcast have been in our community. A good example is Dan Martell, who, I feel is one of the most hot, fast growing entrepreneurs and brands in the world, and grateful to call him a friend as well. But we get people like that who come in and support our community by sharing their resources and their knowledge as well. And then again, we have the community of all of the businesses that are in here that we're working with on a regular basis that are here supporting each other too. And there's nothing I love more than seeing one of our members say, hey, I had that problem 3 months ago. You know what I did? I did this. You should try it or don't, but here's what worked for me. And if you want to give it a go, let's do it. And we learn from each other and we grow with each other. And that part is pretty cool. Anything else you want to jump in and add to before I talk about who can actually be part of this?
Yes, because in my experience, I've watched Bob Gauvreau grow from a 3-person firm to what it is today. And so it is easy to be passionate about this because I've seen how you move in community. I've seen how you move in business. I've seen the decisions that you've made. I was on that first Ascent Summit call in 2020. Yeah. And it's these really powerful points. And it's really special that a firm like us, like you, would do this for entrepreneurs. So then that way they can get through these things and move to the next level. It's super, super special to what we do. And I'm super proud to be here. I'm proud of you. I'm sure you saw me light up when he was talking about it because it's genuine. I want you to win. I want all of you to win, and we root everything we do in the community in that mindset. We are here 110%. We're your business backup crew. We got you.
Yeah, 100%. And, again, we've got 200 people that when we talk about in our program and in the Wealthy Entrepreneur, we talk about strategy a lot and we talk about core values, but we talk about vision and creating a vision that people want to be part of. And I can tell you when we're looking at adding resources, and I just had an interview with a very experienced manager from Winnipeg yesterday who said, hey, I've been following what you guys have been doing for the last 8 months. And I want to move. I've been here for 15 years with my current employer, but I want to be part of what you're creating. And, we teach people how to create that sort of vision and alignment and attract those people too. The girl who I was chatting with yesterday, she's brilliant and comes with a lot of experience, and she's going to be able to help a lot of people that we work with. And, super excited that what we're doing with the Wealthy Entrepreneur and our community involvement in our local communities where we live as well, that drives people here. And because we're giving, right? But let's talk about the giving. Let's talk about the giving, because I think this is the exciting part for me as well, is that, when we first started with the Wealthy Entrepreneur, we launched it at about $5,000 US a year. And as we continue to add to the program, it got more expensive, right? The value of the program, and it's still, the value of the program continues to go up. And, we're putting it at, I would say conservatively, with everything that's in this knowledge base, we're putting it at a $10,000 a year value. All right. And we've been selling it for less, and we will continue to sell it for less. I think we're selling it at $5,000 a year for a member. But here's the cool part. And we sort of came to this realization early in the summer of 2025. And we realized that there's people who are struggling right now with a lot of this Canadian, US economic, debate and, the uncertainty that sort of sits here that the political climate's creating, and then it's trickling down to consumers and businesses are feeling some of that struggle, interest rate fluctuation, currency exchange fluctuation, it's been challenging for all of us, right? For non-business owners and for business owners. But my true passion is to help the business owners get the confidence and the clarity of what they need to do next. And so coming to this realization, I talked to the team and I was like, I have an idea. I'm not sure that you guys are I need your buy-in on this, but we're doing it anyway, ultimately. And that's sometimes how I do things. But I said, I want to give this away for free. But I don't want to give it away to everybody, right? I want to give it to people who are investing in themselves and making sure that they're working with the right advisors. So what we said is, anyone who's working with us as a bookkeeping or an accounting and tax, if you're working with us in any capacity, it doesn't have to be all of the above, but if you're working in one of those capacities, we want you to come join the program for free. And why? Because we want to help you continue to be more successful. We want to take, your finances that we know are in a good position, and we want to take that and help you get to the next level in your business. We want you to be successful. We want you to tell people that we helped you be successful and bring more people just like you in here. And that was the idea of it. Now, for those people that don't work with us, there's still a fee, right? Because we need to get to know you. We need to get access to information. We also have this $10,000 program that we're already offering for half price. But for those that are actually working with us, this is going to be for free. And so part of the incentive too is if you're not working with us as a professional advisor, just come work with us as a professional advisor and you get access to this for free, right? So no cost to you to make that switch. So this is something that I've been really, really excited about. Probably one of the coolest things that I feel like we've done. And we're very unique.
Yes.
In that nobody does this like we're doing it, which is pretty cool.
That puts a fire in my belly.
Right?
Yeah, it does. I'm a little bit competitive, but I also I get excited about that because we're all on a mission, right? And it is to better the world. And yes, we can do that and support business owners through the services that Gauvreau offers, but there's this grassroots initiative that happens here that really fosters entrepreneurs in that emotional, spiritual, mindful way. And that's fire. That's fire in the belly for sure.
Well, and we realize as a professional services firm, right, that one, we're very good. We're very good at what we do. Sometimes it takes the turnaround times a little longer than people would like, and sometimes we could communicate that better. We're always working our best, but the quality of what we do is lights out, and the advice that we have for business owners is the best in the world.
Top tier.
And what we can do though is take that and take it to, a 10x or 100x the value when we start working with you, arm in arm to get you to the next level. It's no longer about tax or legal or accounting or bookkeeping. It's, hey, let's talk about running your business. Let's talk about being CEOs and entrepreneurs. And let's talk about what it means to build a team. Let's talk about how to create the financial structure that you need. Let's talk about how to build the value in your business so that you can exit. Let's create the systems and structures in your business so that the business will operate without you. And like we talked about, then we deal with, your identity shift as well. But also let's create a massive amount of wealth for these people who are making a positive change in the world so that we can get to a position of financial freedom. And then we can double down and go all in and really make a massive impact. So, this is really what it is that we love to do. And the fact that we're able to do it for free for everyone who works with us I think it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And you know what? We help with that fostering and helping with the vision, but also keeping you on track, keeping you accountable. Somebody, to turn to check in and be like, did you get that done?
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, guys? If you're a client of ours right now and you're thinking, man, I want part of this, we have sent, mass emails out for people to get access to it. Not everybody gets emails all the time.
It's all right.
Drop a note in here. Drop a comment in, I'm looking for my membership, or say, I want in, right, in your comment. And we'll make sure that we get you access to this. We want you in here as quickly as possible. And, we've had, I'm going to say dozens of people in the last couple of weeks get in and start taking advantage of the systems and the information and the trainings that are in here. So we want to make sure that everybody gets in here, right? The larger the community gets, the more knowledge, the more information, the more support that we have that we can provide to each other, and we can champion some of those things and continue to push each other across the line. So let's make sure that actually is the case. If you are someone who doesn't currently work with us and you want access to this community, right? You have one of two options. One, you can, purchase the membership and all of the trainings and everything. And if that's what you're looking for, just put a note in the comments, I want to purchase, and we'll make sure that someone reaches out to you and gets access to you from there. Alternatively, if you're like, I want to switch and you want to move any of your accounting, bookkeeping, tax work over because you want access to this community, just put in, I'm ready to switch, and we'll get someone on our team to reach out and make sure that you get contacted, you get switched over so that you work with our professional services team, but then you also get access to this for free, which is pretty awesome. Tiff, what are we missing here? I feel like we've done a good job explaining everything that's in here.
Yeah, without getting into the nitty gritty. I just, you put the value of $10,000 on it, and not to toot his own horn, but you get a monthly group call with Bob Gauvreau. Where what? I'm sorry, sir. Well, I'm in that room with you. I see how that affects everybody, and what's hot topics right now for those business owners. And it's really, really powerful to have you drill down with them on problem solving, on talking about hot topics and hard things. And even Michaela helping, Michaela's our mindset coach, helping them kind of break through and get to the other side, especially with leadership and sort of all of these boxes checked. And it's super easy for me to be jacked up about it because the energy in the room and the changes that we're making, and it really is powerful and helpful. And it's an excellent, excellent tool to have in your toolkit as a CEO.
And again, with zero cost, the only thing that we ask in exchange is that you commit to it.
Yes.
Right? And show up for yourself and for others. But it's true, right? Honestly, guys, we work so hard. This is an opportunity to align yourself with people who are sharing the same experience, the same journey in a different way, but to learn from each other, to push each other forward, to celebrate each other. And honestly, it's a pretty magical place, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity to serve in that way. So maybe we'll leave it there, Tiff. But guys, if you want to be part of it, drop a note in here. I am just going to do a bit of a recap here. This is the Wealthy Entrepreneur Podcast. I am your host, Bob Gauvreau. It is a pleasure to have you here. We are on a mission to empower entrepreneurs with the financial confidence to make informed decisions and ultimately change the world together, which is incredible. And we believe this, with our heart and soul, that this is our mission. And so if there's anything that you have listened to today, listening about the Wealthy Entrepreneur Program, getting access to the book, again, the link will be below so that you can download that. If you know somebody who you feel would benefit from being part of this program or getting access to the book or anything, share this with them, right? Share this, grab the bottom, grab the link and share it with them. We're here to help as many people as we can. Okay. The second part is, if you want to be part of this program, if you want to be part of this movement, make sure that you, again, drop a link in there, give us a like, drop a comment, ask a question, whatever it is, we will get back to you. And just know that we're committed to helping you getting to the next level. Make sure you give us a follow. All right. So give us a follow. We have a podcast released every single week. We have some incredible guests. I share a lot of different teachings and trainings as well along the way as things come up, talking about the economy, interest rates, hiring challenges, higher unemployment rates right now, the political spectrum, whatever that looks like and how it impacts businesses. We walk through that together. And again, I have 4,000 entrepreneurs I have the pleasure and privilege to work with. So we learn from them, their experiences, and we bring that to you in these podcasts as well. So make sure you give it a follow. Once again, I'm your host, Bob. Tiffany, thank you for being here with me today. And for everybody, I look forward to seeing you again next week.